Good evening, everybody. Got here a 2v2 on Empire War, so we do get these faster starts, and it does get right into the action right off the bat. So let's get right into it. In the green, playing as the Portuguese, we do have Liereyy and his teammate to the north. Playing as the Poles, one of those new civilizations, is Hera in the blue. Their enemies, the Brazilians, Dogao, playing in the yellow as the Vikings, and his ally, Miguel, playing as the Franks. These two obviously been teammates for years. They really know what they're doing, and they are a force to be reckoned with. And so right off the bat, we do see Liereyy and Hera wanting to engage as early as possible. They do spot this spear, but they also spot this villager, so going to try to get a quick pick off. Obviously, at this point in the game, any pick is worth it, but unable to do so at this point in time, and Miguel is beginning to wall off the south side of his base, as Liereyy is coming in with spears and an archer. So these scouts already weak for Miguel and not able to do too much damage as of yet. But on the other side, we do see Hera did lose a scout and might just lose another bit of HP, but no, runs away instead. And this army from Liereyy still attacking on the front as Miguel loops around with his own scouts to try to pick off or get a little bit of an advantage where he can, but there are spears for Liereyy patrolling back and forth, trying to protect as much as possible. The scouts will sneak in, but will have to leave very quickly afterwards. And on the other side of the map, we do see scouts roaming across. Liereyy already with a big advantage when it comes to military. He does have the largest number by far with 10 military, so that is great work for him, and he is going to be walling up his base, protecting all of his economy as much as possible while he stays aggressive on the front side of the enemy. In the meantime, his teammate Hera trying to find a way in, but Dogao fully walled in at this point in time. Nothing is open. The only way in is to break through a palisade, but there is this villager right there to protect. All of these players playing it fairly safe. Of course, the chaos that does start out with one of these maps in Empire Wars, it does cause a little bit of back and forth to begin the game always, as it's not a clear meta. You don't really know what is going to go on, and it gets a bit chaotic right to begin with. And we do have archers for the Brazilian team already in, and at the same time, Hera and Liereyy going to try to attack Miguel, but I think most of Hera's attention is going to have to be brought right back to his own base as his villagers are getting attacked by archers. He is having to house wall behind this multiple times. The scouts actually running around. I don't know if that was a misclick or what, but will lose a couple of scouts there for free. And it might be worth it. Look at all of this wasted villager time. Meanwhile, on the other side, a second tower being placed by Miguel. So that is a big cost of stone at this point in the game. But it will allow for protection on his gold. So they will not be able to get in and attack at this point in time. And a bit of back and forth in the base of Hera. Lots of idle time, lots of wasted time, and even these scouts losing HP constantly, running around trying to get as much value as possible as more archers are coming around for Dogao. Looks like this is the main point of contention, as Hera and Liereyy are thinking to themselves, we need to do something right now. We need to be aggressive, and we need to take out some of the economy of the enemy, and that is exactly what they're going to look to do, as a large force of archers comes forward for Liereyy, supported by scouts from Hera. Hera, of course, the only one not on the way up to the next age, and suddenly Dogao losing a lot of time with idols as well, frantically putting up a market. Hera has pushed back the push from Dogao, and now Dogao will have to run back and hopefully save his economy before the enemy is in. He is in the castle age at this point in time. Likely will see a town center get dropped, but where will it be? That is the question. Now, Hera was late to the castle age. He has clicked up at this point in time, so he will have a strong economy making his way up. Liereyy placing his second town center. Miguel still just on the one, and Dogao frantically trying to stay protected, stay walled in where possible, but now he has his own crossbows for protection. These scouts are good as gone. They will definitely be going out. Will they get any Vil picks? Probably not. Just looks like this one from Liereyy might get a Vil pick. That is it. And in the meantime, the entire base of Dogao all up in flames as knights are now coming across for Miguel and streaming across the map. This is a large force of crossbows that needs to be dealt with, and of course when you're talking about Liereyy, you are talking about micro as well. He is so good with archers, with crossbows, but he might just get caught out. With the knights coming in behind, the crossbows up front, I do favor the Brazilian team. More knights streaming across. We've got reinforcements from Dogao right in his base. Lierey's reinforcements don't look like they'll be back in time, but good play overall by Hera to distract with those scouts, able to take him out, but the entire army of Liereyy that was forward is now gone. Of course, Liereyy choosing now to go back as a castle is being dropped by the pole player. And let's see exactly what he goes for, as there are more archery ranges coming down for the Portuguese player in Liereyy. In the meantime, Miguel is only going to be going for knights, multiple stables going. He's got 2 town centers working. And I don't think he expected just this many crossbows to be in the mix for the enemy, as it is a little bit chaotic right now for Dogao. He needs time. He needs to boom back into this. He has lost not many villagers, but a lot of villager collecting time. Hera, of course, with this castle, he will be able to protect the front of his base, but he has nothing in the back wood lines and nothing on this gold as of now, as knights are going to be coming in shortly. Is there a hole in the wall? There is. Oh, an overchop. That is crippling right now, as villagers will be falling for Hera. Hera's entire wood economy there having to run away. Does finally get that pick off. Luckily, Hera able to wall up and protect the rest of his wood economy, but now we've got archers, crossbows coming across, and they will be coming into the economy. They will be able to range this stone, and there is not much for defense at all for Hera at this point in time. Liereyy still on only 2 town centers, but he is moving forward with a big force of 30 crossbows. This is a time where he is able to engage against these knights. The knights will not be able to do anything against this many crossbows, especially with choke points that they can hide in. And in the meantime, we do see the crossbows from Dogao going up to the wood line of Liereyy. Can he get a pick off? No, Liereyy is way too quick. Always such a fast player. Able to run away. Able to move his villagers where needed. And now he has 20 plus 14. That is 34 archers. Crossbows in the back of Miguel's base. Miguel has nothing really in response to this. Their only option at this point in time is continued aggression, attacking the enemy where they can and trying to get in somewhere into the economy. Of course, both of these teams in this weird situation where they're not in ideal situations. They are not comfortable where they're at right now. And the crossbows and knights are sticking together for the Brazilian team. As crossbows are looping around, knights are coming around, and this is going to be the engagement. They are going to jump out of the stables, and they will try to engage, but no. They see the numbers, and they see that is 42 crossbows. We can't engage against that, even with our extra numbers of knights and crossbows. Only the 10 here wouldn't be enough, but now they've waited long enough that Hera is moving over with his own knights, and Dogao is caught out of position completely. The knights do get a surround, but they will be engaging against knights and crossbows at the same time. So the armies of the Brazilian team will stay alive for now, but what can they do really against this mass of crossbows for Liereyy? And there it is. They jump out of the stables. Crossbows are trying to engage where possible, but these knights just so difficult to get a surround when they're up against the tree line like this. The knights do get some fairly good engagement, but nothing compared to what they really needed right there, as the army of 50 is coming into the base, and in response, only 26 military. So that is half the military trying to defend. That is going to make it very difficult, especially with production buildings falling. The stables, once they start to fall, there is nothing really that they can do in response. But the one advantage they do have coming is the Viking economy. Vikings on their way up to the Imperial Age. Can Miguel hold off long enough for Arbalests to come in? These are Arbalests. That is a big enough army to engage, at least try to make an effort, especially with the knights up front, but they need time. 89% of the way in as more crossbows continue to stream across. Town centers falling now at this point in time. And the crossbows have to engage, but they just hit the Imperial Age. Immediately, Arbalest and Bracer comes in, but the town center, the starting town center, is already down for Miguel. He is dropping in villagers, he is dropping in production. Luckily still has 3 town centers up, but what can they do against this army? Well, chemistry's on the way, Arbalest is on the way, and Bracer. So now the chase begins, and suddenly the armies that are combined of crossbows and knights are on their way to the base of Dogao. Liereyy, of course, on his way to the Imperial Age. Hera, of course, on his way to the Imperial Age. Both of these teams now in a race, as the Brazilians want this engagement as quickly as possible. These Arbalests are not going to last forever. They will not have this advantage for much longer. And they need to bring an engagement quickly. And that is exactly what they're going to look to do, as Arbalests come in from the other side, and Liereyy forced to have some sort of an engagement. Not too much yet, but something. And so every kill matters at this point in time for the Brazilian team, and they will continue to chase, they will continue to engage, but at the same time, this castle is denied by Hera. The knights run in, and now the engagement has happened as needed in the north, but the south is completely falling apart. A desperate castle way in the corner is going up, and now the Arbalests trying to hit a good micro from Hera just to be distracting with those knights as much as possible, and actually the Arbalests forced back. At the same time, knights streaming into Miguel's base, and Arbalests will be coming in for Liereyy, as Hera has just completely decimated the economy of Miguel. Interesting thing to note, Hera and Miguel actually have the same villager count because Hera has chosen to go strictly with knight production and not with economy. But there's nothing really that Miguel can do to get back into this right now. He needs to rely on Dogao winning engagements and getting kills. There needs to be some great engagements right now for these Arbalests, but the surround is happening. The Brazilian team is losing what little advantage they did have at some point. I mean, look at this. Almost 80 military for Liereyy, 65 military for Dogao. So still quite a significant force, but of course, the military for Hera being the game changer right now. And Miguel, down and out, he calls the GG. Fantastic early start and a great, great engagement.